In today's video, I'm so excited to share with you a recent pickup from a Facebook claim group, All of Daredevil. Let's go. What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is John and you're watching Old Stuff is Cool. Now this haul comes courtesy of one of the Facebook claim groups I'm part of, where the seller was trying to basically get rid of their entire Daredevil collection. There were quite the number of old books. I saw a number of things like from the Frank Miller run and just general run fillers as well. So this is one that I was watching like a hawk. And I guess the short version of it is I was able to claim a bunch of books, including one very cool key issue that I'll share with you at the very end. But it took about 4 to 5 weeks for this package to finally arrive. And we're talking about a sale that happened back in January. Now, I will preface this that the seller was so good about communication the whole way through. The first step, the first bump in the road was that my stack of books, and it's not a small stack, and again, I got a key issue in the Daredevil run for a very good price. All my books got shipped to the wrong person. I'm not quite sure what happened. I know there were a lot of people making claims in the sale. It's not like I got this other buyer's books and they got mine. Just all mine went to them accidentally. So the first step was letting me know what happened, getting in a group chat with me and the other person. And I do have to say that everyone was above board and turned everything around really quickly. The seller provided a new shipping label to this other person with my books, and they turned it around very fast, I have to say, within a day or two of receiving it. The next bump in the road, however, was that a major snowstorm / blizzard hit the Boston area while that package was en route to me, and that extended by another 4 or 5 business days. So I'm kind of crossing my fingers, checking the tracking number every day, if not multiple times a day, just hoping that not only do my books arrive, but they arrive intact. Well, finally the day comes, the package arrives, and everything is intact. I mean, packaged very well. Very thankful to the seller and the person who accidentally got my books. But in checking that all the books that I ordered came in, came to realize I was missing one book. And I'll call out the book when we start going through the stack. So I let the seller know about this missing book, and they apologized profusely and looked right away into their collection to see if the book was lying around. And lo and behold, the book I claimed was in fact still at his house. He confirmed the photo of the book. Look at this photograph. And I responded, hey, since you're gonna send this other book out, can you let me know if there are any other Daredevil books that went unclaimed? Maybe I'll make it worth your while since you're paying shipping again. He said he'd let me know, get back with a list of the comics that were still lying around. But I would say the next day, he let me know that he shipped the books out. He said there weren't that many, so he just threw whatever was left from the sale along with my missing book. And I thought that was going above and beyond. It's really, making a wrong a right. But, after all these, funky, weird issues, I will have to say that, customer service-wise, that the seller did everything. I think he went above and beyond. So all that to say, this whole journey, finally, this purchase originally happened sometime within the second week of January, and upon recording this, mid-March, late March or so, it's taken a while. And of course there's some time, just to find the time to record this, but everything's here, and I've broken up into a few little groupings. First off, I just want to start off with one of the free books he gave me, and he did have some really like single number issued Daredevils that I unfortunately didn't go for. I know I am trying to collect Silver Age. I did put a few bids in, but some of the prices went pretty high, and I had my focus on another big book from this haul. But the first freebie he threw in I wanted to share is a Silver Age, but this one is probably barring a coverless Fantastic Four book I got for free, this is probably the lowest grade comic I have. It is Daredevil number 60, and if you see here, there's I don't know, I've heard about rat chew or insects eating it. For those who deal more with old books or just buying collections, I don't know. Let me know what you think. What critter did the damage on Daredevil 60 here? I had to look it up on CLZ, even what issue number it was, based on the cover. Cool cover, you know, don't get me wrong, but yeah, not sure what to do with this one, but I would say as far as like what I like to keep in my personal collection, this one probably is more beat up than I would like. I still appreciate the gesture of, you know, of throwing it in for free along with some other books. And next are some duplicates that I got. And so if you guys are fellow Daredevil collectors, you're interested in any of these books, you want to work out a trade, feel free to reach out to me in the comments or over on Instagram. I'm also Old Stuff Is Cool. But some duplicates we got here. Daredevil 263. That's definitely this whole crazy storyline with Mephisto. John Romita Jr. art. Then we got a very cool cover here, issue 323. Doing the Fall from Grace storyline. Venom, and like there's so many guest characters appear in this very 90s story. This is where the black armor gets first introduced during Fall from Grace, and it is by Scott McDaniel. I absolutely adore these Scott McDaniel covers from this storyline, and I think he was on the book for quite a while. Another Scott McDaniel cover here, 326. Again, these are the duplicates. We got a very cool Cap cover, 327. Love the shadows and the black armor. Daredevil there is kind of hidden in the middle there. And the last duplicate, also Scott McDaniel, issue 329. And we've got Daredevil duking out with Iron Fist. So those are the duplicates. Again, hit me up if you're interested in any of them. Now for the later books in the run that I picked up here, and I will say that some of the free books are interspersed with, it's been a while, so I don't fully remember what was thrown in and what was not, but besides the duplicates, I got a bunch of books that I needed as well. So that really worked out in my favor. So we got issue 292, great cover with Punisher here. Issue 293, covering that same storyline. Then we jump up to issue 310. I believe this is notable as this might be the first cover that Calypso appears on. And Calypso is a Kraven the Hunter adjacent character. I mostly know her from a storyline from the Todd McFarlane Spider-Man that involved like Lizard and whatnot. Kind of cool character. I forget if she has some sort of connection to magic or something besides the, you know, obviously like the animal kingdom, the similar dress to Kraven. Anyway, moving on. We got some more Scott McDaniel here. Issue 328. This is plugging one of the holes I had in my Daredevil run. Issue 330. Great cover featuring Gambit. And issue 331. I forget this one or the issue after might have been it for those Scott McDaniel covers, but obviously the characters pop on the stark white background. This probably will stand out, or it did stand out on the shelf, on the newsstand back in the day. And then the last of the later run, we got issue 333. I know this one was definitely a throw-in. So that's it for the newer Daredevil books. Now we'll get into some of the older ones. This next one is the book that was the one singular one missing that I claimed that kind of extended this whole purchasing process, and that is issue 236. It's the Marvel anniversary cover. Obviously, I really wanted this one. I think I managed to snag it for only $1, and I'll let you know how much I got all these books for at the end, but really wanted this book. I mean, sometimes the price can vary greatly based on condition, but sometimes it can be like a $10 book, sometimes sometimes less, but I managed to snag it for $1 and definitely had wanted this in my collection. I mean, I love those anniversary borders. I'm not trying to collect them all, but for the series that I do like, of course, I have the Fantastic Four one. I think I need the Thor one. Anyway, I managed to grab an upgrade copy to Daredevil 254, and that's the first Typhoid Mary. Very cool cover there with John Romita Jr. art. Then we have issue 248 with a cover by Rick Leonardi and guest starring Wolverine. Wolverine was everywhere in the 80s and 90s. I mean, if you want to pop sales for a book, especially a low-selling book, a less popular book, you throw in Wolverine. And then we go back to the Frank Miller run. I was able to get 3 books, including our final book for today. First, we have issue 177. Just a crazy nightmare fuel cover there. It's been a while since I read this issue, so I forget what the context is, but some sort of demon. Actually, Daredevil is, maybe given his Catholic background, it's often dealing with demons, right? Mephisto, we mentioned earlier. Then we have issue 267. Very cool cover there, kind of mimicking an old school computer screen. And that brings us to the big book, the one I was very excited to pick up. This key issue is the first appearance of Elektra. It also kicks off, Frank Miller as both artist and writer on this book. Such a fantastic cover, very, very nice shape too. I would say maybe if I were to gander, a VF minus. Sorry about the reflection. Very, very solid book here. I thought it might be a while until I ran across this, but it wound up being, I guess, one of my, again, purchasing this back in January, this was one of the earliest big books I got for the year. And big books to me really is anything that's valued at, I don't know, $75 or more. 75, 100 might be the threshold. The dollar amount to what a big book is different to each person. So I'm just trying to give you the, where the bar is for me. So a fantastic lot of Daredevil books. All these books came in with shipping at $77. I mean, honestly, most of the books in this claim were $1 or $2 at most, except this one, which I would still say I got for a great price. But that is the haul. Guys, if you haven't ever checked out any Daredevil stories, there have been so many great creative teams on it. Yes, you can definitely, dip in on Frank Miller. I think that was probably my first exposure to the character, followed closely by the Kevin Smith, Joe Quesada run from that Marvel Knights reboot. Oh, and if you're worried that Daredevil is just all grim and gritty and is an edgelord, then I highly recommend checking out Mark Waid's run, which in general has a more definitely more lighthearted, but even the art style is a little more light to match the tone. Also very good reading. Just the fact that the character can do both grim and gritty and then something a little more playful, I think tells you a lot. But I've been blathering around for too long. Let's bring this video to a wrap. Thank you guys so much for taking some time out, for joining me for this haul, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Take care. Creaky chair, always creaking, sounds like I'm farting.